Ferrari was a sort of option, but it wasn't very serious initially, because when I think about Ferrari at the time, were my thought, didn't finish many races, didn't win a lot of times, so it was for me not really a big option until, I have to say, I met Jean Todt and our president. When I met these people, the story changed a lot, because with the human aspect I got to know a little bit more about the team, and my choice was a lot more easy.
Ferrari, a team that had last won the Drivers' Championship in 1979, was plagued by inferior technology and poor performing crews when compared to front-running teams such as Benetton and Williams. Schumacher's signing with the Italian thoroughbred was what the marque needed.
When you be realistic and you see that Ferrari didn't finish 13 times last year, then it would be too optimistic and unrealistic to say we're going to fight for the championship. I would like to fight for a couple of victories. That if I could achieve that, I would be perfectly happy. If you go back, Ferrari has won 2 races in 3 years, and if you could win 2 or 3 races in 1 year, I think it would be a major success.
It has developed something which I would have never expected, because the initial time being in Formula 1 was like you being in somewhere in the sea with not 1 or 2 sharks, with thousands of sharks around you, and you don't know which one is going to bite you first. With being in Ferrari, I learned that most of the sharks were dolphins. They were very, very nice.
Described at the time as looking more like a jet fighter than a racing car, Ferrari's new Formula 1 contender, the F310, was their big hope for the 1996 World Championship Challenge. Combined with a new driving team of Schumacher and Eddie Irvine, times were changing at Camp Maranello. The new car, designed by Briton John Barnard, was unveiled at a press conference in the team's Italian headquarters. A confident Ferrari president, Luca de Montezelmo, made clear his hope that the new team would win at least 3 Grands Prix this season. In front of more than 500 journalists, Schumacher had joined fellow driver, Ireland's Eddie Irvine, Fiat chairman and Ferrari's major shareholder, Gianni Agnelli. Schumacher held firm in his belief that he would win the driver's title for a 3rd time, in this, his first season with his new team. The former Benetton driver said, "I'm not downplaying my chances. However, I have to be realistic. We are starting something new here, and I have a very high motivation. In fact, I spent 4.5 years at Benetton, and I felt quite empty. We'd achieved everything together, and I needed a new motivation here," added Schumacher.
I had the chance even to earn more money in another team. The money is one part. I want to be paid what I feel I should be paid for the job I'm doing compared to other racing drivers. And that feeling I have here, plus I have the feeling I'm able to do a good job, the job I want to do. Maybe not this year, but hopefully next year. But this kind of motivation was exactly the thing I was looking for. I was not looking for an easy job where I sit in a car and I'm going to be able to win every race, or where people at least expect me to win every race. That is not the kind of challenge I'm looking for. I really want to fight hard for the victories, as I have done always in the past.
Who's the biggest challenge of this year?
As I have said before, that the Williams team will be the main challenger in my view, and then Benetton should be very close to this too.
And individual drivers?
It's difficult to say. I mean, certainly both drivers in the Williams, Damon Hill, Jacques Villeneuve, Malaysia, Gerhard Berger, you have to name all of them. They're all very good pilots, and they're going to make life difficult to me, or I make it difficult to them. Whatever.
How about your new teammate?
He obviously as well. That's no doubt. That the first, it is always the main competition to beat your teammate in the own team, because that's where you have reference to. And he will be, in my view, my hardest teammate I ever had before.
Schumacher finished 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, despite the team having reliability trouble, causing Schumacher not to finish 6 of the 16 races. True to his prediction, he won 3 races, more than the team's total tally for the period from 1991 to 1995. The first of these came at the Spanish Grand Prix, where he lapped the entire field up to third place in the wet, using an uncharacteristically flamboyant oversteering style. The legendary Stirling Moss was to add later about Schumacher's driving in the 1996 Spanish Grand Prix. It was not a race, it was a demonstration of brilliance. And by the end of '97, Michael's bid for the World Drivers' Championship was thwarted when he had ended the season in controversy. Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve had fought for the title all year. Villeneuve, driving the superior Williams FW19, led the championship in the early part of the season. However, by mid-season, Schumacher had taken the championship lead, winning 5 races and entering the season's final Grand Prix with a 1-point advantage. Fans in Schumacher's birthplace of Kirpen in Germany were disappointed when he crashed out of the European Grand Prix and subsequently out of the running for the Drivers' Championship. Schumacher fans were lapping up their hero's progress as Schumi led the European Grand Prix and seemed likely to come away from the Jerez circuit with his 3rd World Championship title. "It doesn't come more exciting than this," said one fan at Kirpen Bar. Another explained he had nothing against Canadian Jacques Villeneuve, who was Schumacher's rival to take the title, but he just didn't want his hero to lose. But when Schumacher developed a fault on his car and clouted Villeneuve's car as the Canadian overtook him, the fans' faces fell. "It was his fault," said one fan. "It was sad, but it was his own fault." Schumacher retired from the race and Villeneuve scored 4 points to take the championship. Schumacher was held to be at fault for the collision and was disqualified by the FIA from the Drivers' Championship. Jacques Villeneuve spoke out shortly after the International Motorsport Federation's ruling on the accident. He made light of the decision to strip Schumacher of his second place in the '97 Formula One Championship. Villeneuve expected Schumacher would have received more severe sanctions for trying to force him off the track at Jerez. Villeneuve said it was not a punishment. The FIA let him keep his victories.